Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank JG for this article that came out in the Philadelphia Inquirer, November 12th, 2018. Rate of births to white single moms accelerate. And this is very true. Not only births to more white single mothers, also a lot of white women are raising children more than ever before because of the drug addiction. A lot of men have died that had families, and now their wife is struggling to raise the kids on their own. And it's more common than uncommon than you think. So let's get into this article. The blue, it's a boy. Balloons are starting to pucker and wilt in Devon Whitley's Phoenixville apartment, but their message is moot now that little Noah is 7 weeks old. He's healthy, so it's just a woman from Chester County, which I'm very familiar with, over in Pennsylvania, had a baby. She's unmarried. She just turned 30 and lives about $2,000 below the federal poverty line of $16,460 for a family of two on food stamps, as well as on disability payments for severe Crohn's disease, taken from her parents at age 6. She grew up in foster care and poverty, absorbing beatings and sexual assaults while developing an overwhelming pessimism that her future would be only pinched and dismal. But lately, Whitley began to believe that a beautiful baby would confer joy even after her boyfriend shapeshift into a ghost. So in other words, he dumped her. So when she got pregnant, there was no abortion, no talk of adoption. She said, "I thought a baby could make my life better." Whitley is part of a growing trend among unwed, low-income white women whose birth rate has been growing faster than that of any other racial group, according to data experts and sociologists. In the mind of the public, and the single mother is always considered to be a minority. And St. Joseph University sociologist Maria Kafalis, who co-authored a book about unwed mothers in Philadelphia and Camden, and Karen Eden, a Princeton University sociologist. But the fastest shift in this demographics is white, driving the trend. Class, not race. The rate of unmarried white females having babies nearly tripled since 1980 and 2016, rising from 10% to almost 30%, according to Child Trend, a nonprofit research organization. That figure, which measures births to females ages 15 to 44, is about twice as high as the 15% of births to unmarried white females in 1990. While the white rate is accelerating, overall numbers for non-marital births among minorities are higher. For example, 70% of births in the African American community are to unwed mothers, a rate that hasn't changed since the early 1990s. And that's never going to change, ladies and gentlemen. It's never going to change. As long as mass incarceration is going on, that number is always going to look like that. I can tell you that right now. And yes, a lot of it has to do with, Black couples breaking up, but, mass incarceration also plays a huge role in that. All right, moving on. All right, so for example, 70% of births in the African American community are to unwed mothers, at a rate that hasn't changed since early 1990s. Among Latinas, it's 53%. So you can see this chart: births to unwed women, the percentage of births to mothers who are unmarried has nearly tripled among white women since the 1980s, increasing to a fast pace that unwed births among Black or Hispanic mothers whose rates remain higher. So, of course, you can see Black women here. You have the Hispanic women, and also 28.6% for white women. It's important to remember, Kafala said, that non-marital births are a function of class, not race, because many U.S. minorities live in poverty. You'll see higher percentage of single parents among them. In Philadelphia, poverty among minority groups stalled or decreased between 2016 and 2017, but poverty among whites shot up from around 15% to more than 19%, according to the US Census figures released in September. Throughout America, white workers have suffered stagnation or declines in wages and status over the last 30 years, thanks to downsizing, outsourcing, and automation that have led to the loss of well-paying blue-collar jobs. The humming economy is not delivering for many working class people, experts say. It's becoming harder for whites to make it, says sociologist Karen Benjamin Guzzo of Bowling Green State University in Ohio. What's happening to them is what happened to disadvantaged minorities decades ago. Isn't that what we always say? Whatever the condition is for us, eventually will become the condition for them. Every time they do stuff to sabotage our families, you notice the same things end up ultimately happening to their families. And right now, the drug addiction is causing a lot of their families to fall apart. Same thing happened during the crack addiction. You're seeing the similar things happening in the white community now with the opioids and heroin and fentanyl going on. They're going through the same kind of breakups in families. Okay. As a result, working class, white working class, and rural voters without college degrees are more pessimistic about their future than any other group, CNN reported in 2016 survey. Less educated white Americans have loss of hope, and you're seeing them fall downward with more opioid use, as historian Stephanie Kuntz of Evergreen State College in Olympia, Washington. It's a demoralization that makes people unable to sustain relationships, making marriage not a good bet, longing for children. As with low-income minority women, many disadvantaged white women believe they're better off having babies and cohabitating with men, or simply living on their own, than marrying men who are suffering economically, experts say. So they know when they're getting pregnant by these men that these men really can't afford to marry them or even take care of a child. That's what they're really saying. Misunderstood as reckless people who use babies to leverage welfare cash, many single mothers actually are making rational decisions based on meager circumstances and limited choices, experts say. There's an economic basis for marriage, and if both spouses can't earn livings, it takes away from underpinning from marriage, said Deborah Weinstein, executive director of the Coalition on Human Needs, a Washington nonprofit that focuses on poverty, but it doesn't take away from longing for children. So children will be born in the absence of marriage. To us, it's clear then that poverty causes unwed mothers. Yes, it does. Now you can see right here, unwed mothers in Philadelphia, and you can see all 45%. And it's showing you poverty status based on race. And okay, because on this chart, it has the Hispanics as the biggest for women who had birth within 12 months who were unmarried. And then 61% Black and 15% white. And then you see the highest level of education, 69% no college degree. Now, look at how high that number is for people in this country with no college degree. That's pretty damn high. 69% college degree, 60%, 25% bachelor's degree. Wow. Let me just go down here. Unmarried mothers and poverty in Philadelphia. So you see the couples, number of families, 53,025, single mothers, 54,525, and single fathers with children, 13,547. And this is according to the 27 U.S. Census Bureau American Community Survey. There you go. Well, they're saying less and less people are getting married. So when you see stories like this, it's not hard to believe, And I know that's true because, like I said, I live very close to 4 churches from my house. And when I was growing up, there were weddings at all 4 churches. Sometimes, like especially during the spring and summer, all of them would have weddings. Now, I kid you not, you can go past all 4 churches on a Saturday when people love to get married, and you will barely see a car in the parking lot. I think over the summer, I saw one of the churches having a wedding. I saw only one the whole summer. I'm telling you, we are not imagining this. People are not getting married like they used to. And believe it or not, I think this is a global phenomenon that's going on. It's not just limited to the US. But please tell me what you think now. We see a rise in white single mothers in the US. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.